Hi and Assalamualaikum. We are from AS1203B and we are going to present PHY150 Lab 1 Coloumb'S Law. Our group members are FAIRUZNIZA Nurin binti JAMAL, NORHUSNI binti BAHARI, ARWA binti MOHAMED YUSOFF and me, Nurin MARDIANA HUMAIRA binti RUSLAN.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I will explain the objective and the theoretical background for this experiment. First, let's move to the objective for this experiment. The first objective is to satisfy Coulomb's law experimentally. The second objective is to study the parameter that affect the electric force. The last objective is to find experimentally the electric constant K. Now, move on to the theoretical background. Coulomb's law. The magnitude of the electric force that a particle exerts on another is directly proportional to the product of the charge and inversely proportional to the square of the distance between them. Mathematically, the magnitude of this electrostatic force, Fe, acting on two charged particles, Q1 and Q2, is expressed as Fe equal to K times Q1, Q2 over R squared, where R is the separation distance between the charged object and K is a constant of proportionality, called the Coulomb's constant K. K is equal to 9.0 times 10 power 9 and m squared over c squared.
Assalamualaikum. My name is NORHUSNI and I am going to present a methodology of procedure and result and data analysis. For methodology of procedure, there is two parts, which is part 1 and part 2. For part 1, there are 4 steps, which is the first step is the charge on Q1 and Q2 was start with value 2 and 4 microcoulomb. For the second step, the value on charge 1 and 2 was stated in the table. The third step, the distance between the two charges was changed using the value in the table 1. And for the last step, the force value was recorded. Okay, we move on to part 2. The first step is the charge Q1 and the distance start with 5 microcoulomb and 6 centimeter. The second step, the charge and the distance between the two objects were recorded in table 2. And the last step, the charge of object 2 was changed and each Q2 was recorded in table 2. Now we move on to result and data analysis. For part 1, we can see in table 1, we get the result of electrostatic force. Okay, and now we can see the graph between electrostatic force and distance. This graph shows that the electrostatic force is inversely proportional to the distance between two charges, which means when the distance between two objects was increasing, the electrostatic force was decreasing. And then we calculated the electric constant K. The electric constant K that we get is 8.9875 10 to the power of 9. While for the constant K that we know is 9.0 10 to the power of 9. This shows that there is 0.14% error in this experiment. Okay, for part 2, we can see table 2 where we get the value of Q2 and electrostatic force. Okay, we can see the graph of charge and electrostatic force. This graph shows that the charge is proportional to the electrostatic force, which means when the charge increases, the electrostatic force will increase. And then we calculated the electric constant K. We get 8.987544 10 to the power of 9, while the electric constant K that were known is 9.0 10 to the power of 9. From this calculation, we can see that there is 0.14% error in this experiment.
Now, I would like to talk about the discussion. In this experiment, the calculation of the value of electric constant at part 1 and 2 has a bit similarity with the actual number of electric constant. The graphs was shown inversely proportional when electrostatic force against distance. The relationship between variables was inversely proportional. When distance decreased, the electrostatic force increased. This experiment was proof that it followed the Coulomb's law. Now we move to the part 2. The relationship between variables was directly proportional. When the charge on each object was doubled, the force were increasing too. 4 times the original value. This experiment was complied the Coulomb's law. If two charges have a same sign, they would repel to each other. But if charge sign was different, they would attract to each other. Random error was happen while taking the value. The result of multiplication or division should have no more digits than the numerical value with the fewest significant figure.
In conclusion, the Coulomb's law was able to consider that the electric force from one smallest charge to another charge, and it was directly proportional to the charge on each object. The force was affected when the distance between them was increased, and it causes the value of force to decrease from its original value. The value of electric constant K that was obtained in part 1 and part 2 was 8.9875 multiplied by 10 to the power of 9 and m squared over c squared, and the objective for this experiment was achieved.